Sun and Virgo.
Hey
Hi guys.
We are
live. We're live.
We're back.
I'm here. And we're back.
It's Scorpio season. Get into it.
Get into it, Scorpio.
And get on with it.
Yo, Scorpio, I want you to get into it. It's like it's your season and stuff, and like we fresh with that right now. We about to give you all the messages that you need to hear from the spirit right now. So y'all need to go on up in here and see what's up, Scorpio. See what's up. And I'm out.
He's out, honey. What's been going on with you guys for Scorpio season? It's been Scorpio season for a minute, okay?
We're in phase, what's today?
It's the 5th.
We are still in phase 2 of Scorpio.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello, darling.
Hi, guys. So we're coming, like, you know, we're in the middle, getting towards the end of it, but we're in phase 2 now. We've entered into phase 2 of the Scorpio, which is the second decan of Scorpio.
A card fell out.
So Scorpio, the second decan of Scorpio in the minor arcana, is talking about the 6 of Cups, right? Because the 5 of Cups is the first real Scorpio card, and then you have the 6 of Cups, and then you have the 7 of Cups, and those are the 3 deacons of Scorpio season. So we're in the 6 of Cups now. Hi. Yes. So the 6 of Cups is talking about deep feelings, deep emotional feelings.
Connected to past.
All thinking about it, whether or not you're acknowledging that or not.
Yeah.
It's your subconscious. Yeah.
It's affecting us. And it's like, what are we doing to deal with the way that it's affecting us? You know what I mean? Because if it's like, there are definitely going to be negative feelings that we have attached to parts of our past, and they're going to play a part in who we are today. And it's like, we bring value to our memories, you know, because it's like, it connects us to a part of ourselves, you know, a past part of ourselves that we may honor just because, you know, of where it's gotten us today.
Absolutely.
But some of those things are not meant to stay with you, or you're not meant to keep those memories, you know, as you had before.
So the camera froze for a minute, but it's still going, so I'm guessing you guys can still hear us. So it's gonna unfreeze in a minute. It does that sometimes.
Technology. Mercury retrograde is upon us.
Mercury retrograde is upon us, and you know, it was like, I feel like we're a little bit of a podcast right now because you can't really see us, and it's kind of funny. But I've been feeling Mercury in Sagittarius, which just shifted into Sagittarius, I want to say like Halloween time. And I'm like, why am I having so many technological things? Or why are things going 0 to 60 like busting, breaking, engineering, wiring? And it's because Mercury doesn't, Sagittarius, you're not really welcome. You're not really welcome in Mercury's house. That's Gemini. That's opposite you. I mean, it's Virgo too, but it's Gemini in that way, so it's at its detriment. So it's not really, you know, it's not really welcome in that way.
Hey,
so, you know, a lot of us might be having some swift and surprising messages that come in. We might go 0 to 60 with something, or something might come in that's very frank, very honest, very hot-headed, very hot around it. There could even be harassment or some type of discussion of travel, right?
All right, so let's get into these cards. I pulled one card for you guys from the Runes deck, and it is Wunjo. Beautiful card. I'm like, I can't even tell like where it is in the video, but I'm gonna let you guys look at that for a minute. Okay, so this card's meaning is joy, and the key word is bond. Wunjo is linked to union, the couple, and serenity in the family. Interesting. A man and a woman holding hands. They are bearers of complementary values, and together are able to build something that they could not on their own, because each one has something the other is missing, right? So it's almost like that idea of depending on someone for something that only they can provide you with. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a material thing. It could be anything that brings you joy. And it is a way for you to bond with someone, right? Getting a need met by someone and them having needs being met by you. The essence of the card is the importance of having solid and sincere bonds. Oh, you want to see if it'll... Hold on, let me see. If I do this, it's going to give me an option, and then I can hit cancel. And then we shall see what it's doing.
Well, I know you guys can hear us, but it's like frozen, so I was just trying
frozen.
to like...
We're gonna keep going. Let us know. Are you guys getting our movements in real time? How many fingers am I holding up? Someone say something.
I don't think they can see
Can you guys see?
But they can hear us.
We can hear, but you can't see.
Hear. Okay.
So let me continue with this. The essence of the card is the importance of having solid and sincere bonds. Furthermore, Wunjo speaks to us of traditions and roots. It is important to have a place to return to. So funny, we were just talking about this. Be it a physical place, or the love of our family or friends. Suggestions for meditation on this card, and this is just going to give you suggestions to think about post-reading, during reading, the reading, what thought process you can meditate on while the reading is happening. What do roots represent for us? Are we perhaps too attached to our childhood and the past, the sixth deacon? Or are our memories a resource capable of regenerating and helping us in times of need? This is literally what we were just talking about. More than once, right? Wunjo helps to have greater balance in our love and relationships, love and family relationships. So it is a very Scorpionic card. It is a very Scorpio card in terms of like having real bonds with people, and it's like the loyalty that comes with that bond, or the bond that comes with the loyalty, you know, because it is a two-way street. So it's like you both have to play into, you know, what it is that you provide for each other that no one else can. It's, you know, it's a deeper meaning than just being like, you give me a ride when I need one. You know what I mean? It's not that type of thing. It's really like you knowing when to come home and just like, you know, bring me my favorite thing, or, you know, play my favorite song when you get home when you see I'm not doing well, you know, or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like those types of things. All right, we're using the Gay Tarot today.
Okay.
And I might have to stop this and then bring it back up. We'll see.
Okay. So your first card out, and I know you guys can't see the cards right now. Hopefully this will unfreeze at some point in time, and you will be able to visualize some of these cards, or we can always take a picture of it and post it up later or something. Right. In the comments or something. Yeah. But right now, your first card out is the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles from this tarot, the Gay Tarot, is really talking about Mercury and Virgo energy. So there's a lot of different men in this particular tarot, and they're all wearing different things. They're like all leaders of their own thing, right? They've kind of conquered this kind of idea of their image, and they're communicating whatever it is that they want to convey about their character through the fashion sense and the style, all on its own. So it's kind of like you getting to a place. This is a very much about an inheritance, or feeling lucky, or feeling like expansion, or feeling like there's some type of perfect communication that's going to go on between you and another party. Maybe there was confusion, maybe their intentions were not really clear, but now we're talking about communication that's progressive for all parties. So people are a little bit more woke to the idea of what's going on, why it's going on, what you want to happen. And also, this even on a lower polarity, this is really talking about the proof. 10 stages of something. The facts in the scenario. What before might have been something that you were trying to deny, it's like, no, you can't deny this now. If you think it's this, it's probably this. You are intuitive all by yourself in that sense too. And whatever it is something that is reputable, or something that is finite. It's not just in your mind. It's pentacles. It's 10 pentacles. It's like everybody, and the candle just went out that we had lit. Everybody can see it.
I feel like this is definitely pertaining to what's going on like tomorrow, right? It's kind of like communicating what matters, communicating what is actually going to be able to hold some value within our experience together as people, right? What are we doing here physically together? What does everything mean for us as like a unit, as like, you know, humanity? It's kind of like the voting process that's taking place, right? You're communicating what you want to see consistency, where you want to see consistency. You're communicating where you want to see progressive things happening. You want to see some productivity. You want to see things come to a pinnacle of like success, right? The 10 of Pentacles here, which is the 10 of Coins, it's, you know, it's the understanding for something greater, right?
Yeah, your mindset is definitely coming out. And this is a future position. So right now, who knows where you are? You could be very much up, maybe the 9 of Pentacles, or any kind of situation where you feel like you need some type of communication to come through. You could be on a waiting period for something to change over, and it's saying that this is really, there's a completion that's coming on a physical plane, be it good or bad, for you to look at, and you're going to know how to act accordingly after, because it is very finite.
It's like, what's the accessibility factor here? What are you striving to access? What are we reaching? And it's like, if you can communicate what it is that you need in order to reach this place, then maybe you will be able to achieve that. You know what I mean? It's like substantiating something, you know, that's it's like completion of a process.
Mercury is in its dignity here. In other words, it's very comfortable here because Mercury rules Virgo and it rules Gemini. So Mercury in Virgo is really talking about feeling comfortable with these types of communication, what is factual. And it could be talking about something to do with your everyday routine, with Virgo being there. So there could be a completion with something at work, or with relationships around people at work somehow. Yeah, just things reaching ahead, or finally like coming to some type of conclusive kind of
like what really matters.
Right. Okay, so in your sun, you've got the Guide of Wands. And the Guide of Wands is really the Queen of Wands energy here. And that's really talking about being crafty, being able to wield things into creation through spirit, right? Being able to manifest the things that you want to create in your life through the need, through your emotional need as well, because the guides are all based on water. They're all based on your emotions. So they're also in correlation with Empress energy, right? And the Empress energy is really talking about the need to express something. It's the first beginning tastes of conflict. And that conflict is coming from inner knowing. You now know something. You may be woke to something that maybe not everybody is woke to, but it is something that is a need to express the idea of fertility, the idea of pregnancy. You can be pregnant with an idea of something. It doesn't always have to be a child. You can be pregnant for more than 9 months. You could be pregnant for 9 years with the idea of something until you finally decide to do it.
Right. Scorpio, I feel like this is you kind of like wanting to express this new part of your identity, right? It's kind of like, you know, that there may not be any turning back from, you know, just acknowledging this new part of yourself that's sort of been activated, right? Because the Guide of Wands, the Queen of Wands, is very dynamic, and she's very enthusiastic, and she's very persuasive. So you might be persuading yourself to go ahead and, you know, express something that you want to see happen, or that you've been feeling like you want to see happen. Or maybe you might just be teaching yourself to make do with a situation that may not be changing, right? Because it is the sun, and it is fixed energy, and the Guide of Wands, you know, that could be Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries energy. But fire is fire, you know what I mean? And it doesn't really change. It's fucking hot. It's gonna be hot.
It's talking and it's talking about there's a female in your life, or female energy. There's a feminine energy that's fiery in your life, and it might have something for you, or be able to hold something for you, or be able to help you in some way. Or you need to really look at this type of energy within yourself because you are so scorpionic and you can be so frozen within your emotions and so fixed within what it is that you feel and why you feel that way. The purpose of why you desire so deeply. It's also saying, look at those emotions. Look at those emotions and look at the spirit behind those emotions. It's not just about the feeling of happy and sad and angry and mad and jealous and greedy and da-da-da-da. It's also about the spirit behind why you're doing it. Why are you doing these things, you know, and how to manifest things in a healthy way for yourself and for others. Yeah, so this is a very crafty. In your emotions, you're having a change of focus somehow, or you're just having a new, there's a new struggle. They can't see it. I know. But it's the Ace of Swords. And that's sad because this is a beautiful tarot. It's very interesting too. This is Scorpio, and this is very like things are hidden, and you love to uncover things. So it's very weird that we're doing this reading right now,
and it's
and
like
you can't see it,
but you can hear it.
Right, but you can hear it.
But this is good because you really are just getting information. And he did say it was kind of like a podcast. There is a change of focus in your emotions. And it's almost like you have to face the truth about how something is actually, the reality about something. And however it's affecting you emotionally, you're going to have to start to process that. You're going to have to start to reassert like the way that you see yourself, you know what I mean? How are you communicating with yourself in terms of like how you are being affected emotionally by what's going on? Are you owning up to your feelings? You know what I mean? Or are you deciding to like, you know, run away from them as is, you know, you're infamous for doing that. But I feel like this is a new awareness of how to identify with your emotional process. New moon in Scorpio is like tomorrow, so hello.
Yeah, there's definitely a change of focus that is coming. And for some reason, I'm getting like the sense because it's an air sign, it's air in your emotions that it could be a struggle somehow. Like some type of thing that might be not necessarily bad, but it could be just a change of focus somehow. And it's like an emotional, it's like an emotional struggle or just a new awareness of something that could be possibly stressful. You're like, it was this and now it's this. And now I have to think about this. So I am getting that, and maybe that is why you're going to get to this place of perfect communication and this way of needing to express some things. You could have maybe been holding certain emotions, and maybe those emotions are starting to warm up a little bit.
There's a waiting period, right? Because it's like, the card at the bottom of the deck is the Two of Wands. So it's sort of like trying to decipher what to do in terms of communicating something that's affecting you emotionally.
This is actually not at the bottom. This is the card at the top. I flipped over. The card at the bottom is actually the King of Wands.
Okay, the card at the bottom is the King of Wands.
Very significant
we do have the Two of Wands out here.
I flipped over, like, for some reason after I laid the cards out, the card that was on top, I just flipped it over because I wanted to see what it was. And that happened to be the Two of Wands. And we have the King of Wands at the bottom. You also have the Queen of Wands here. So there's a lot of Wands energy going on. You have Temperance as your past placement, which is major arcana. And you have Aries, the Emperor, as your present situation. So this is all fire going on here. Fire like in your sun, fire in the end.
You're waiting to... You're waiting to assert something in a circumstance or a situation that has to do with maybe an announcement being made to maybe like a group of people that may be long-standing relationships that you might have in your life. And it's kind of like you might have been nurturing this thought process on like what to do. And eventually something is going to happen, and it's going to definitely challenge your role as a leader.
I mean, right now you are having a Saturn and Scorpio experience. I mean, Saturn and Libra experience. That's the immediate influence, which is the Three of Swords.
Right.
And traditionally, if you guys know, the Three of Swords is usually a heart with the three swords going through it. It's usually a very like painful looking card, but it's a beautiful, lush heart, and it's got swords in it. In this particular tarot, there are three umbrellas, and it's raining, and they're like three broken umbrellas in a pool of water.
Honey, it's not gonna work anymore.
Yeah, it's not working.
Something's not working.
The umbrellas aren't working. They're just kind of like laying there. There's no human figures. It's just the umbrellas.
Right.
So it's really just, and it's a lot of rain, right? And it's really just kind of like saying that there's a waiting period going on here with you. And what are you learning from this purchase?
Right.
What are you learning from these umbrellas, all these umbrellas that like didn't work, that didn't catch the rain, and you still got wet from the scenario?
It's almost like, what are you being conditioned to believe right now? You know, and like...
What's dependable for you? And there's obviously disappointment around the situation if it's three broken umbrellas.
Right.
Right? The umbrella isn't working. You spent your money and your time and your energy, and it's not helping you.
And it has to do with, you know, your dignity as like, you know, a leader.
As the instructor of your life. I mean, it could be as a leader.
I mean, you're leading your life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. And the emperor is usually someone who is in control of, you know, some entity or overseeing something. You see what I mean?
I mean, it really is just about seeing things as they are when you see the emperor there. Because some of you, I mean, you never know with Scorpio. I mean, Scorpio, you do control naturally as a Scorpio. You control things a lot. But it doesn't mean that you're in a position of power necessarily. It just means that you are powerful.
Right. So you might have to be asserting some of that power. And it might have to be like... You might have to try to do it in like a different way, because with the change of focus being here in the emotions, it's kind of like there's something that's kind of like turning over. There's like something that's like an evolution, or something is evolving, and it's like making you change your focus.
The Saturn in Taurus is the future for you, and that's really like it definitely has something to do with something that you've invested a lot of your time and your career with. Taurus is really talking about your career and your commitments.
It's so hot.
It is very warm. It's gotten very warm in here. There are a lot of wands around too, and it's very funny because Temperance was the past, Aries is the future, Aries is the now. You know, there's a lot of like, I'm sweating. Leo is also here in your anxiety. So all of the fire,
activity, right?
Right. All of the fire is here for you. Things are very hot for you right now. For some of you, it could be circumstances around a child with the Emperor being there, because the Emperor is really talking about the child. That's Aries energy. So all of your focus could be around a child and all of the activities around that. Or you have a business and that's your child, and what you want to create and the things that you want to create and how you want to create them. Or it's the husband. For some of you, it's the man and the love of your life. All you can think about is this man. All you can think about is this love or this female in your life, and you're wondering if you're going to be able to build something with this person. If you're trying to, it's like, don't focus just on the physical here. You have to look at the routine, and whatever it is, if it is love related or if it is karmically related with the child, it's going to be a very, 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 very sweet reward in the end, but it is going to be a long, tumultuous journey.
Right. It's
and
like
it needs to be,
you can't have it instantly. Right.
Yeah, it's like it's going to take time. Taurus and Saturn are not fucking around.
Right.
They're really, I mean, they're really not.
Slow.
They're very slow. They are. They really are. They are very slow, grounded, sure. Like Taurus and Saturn are the things when you look at monuments like the Great Wall, and you're like, that thing has been there for hundreds and centuries, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. You can see it from the moon. Right. Saturn and Taurus. That's like really some structure, foundation.
This is like in the future you're definitely going to have to stay encouraged, because with Saturn being here and then it being Taurus, it might be making you feel uncomfortable in terms of like things changing, right? Because Taurus is a fixed sign, and
they fear change in that way.
They fear change in that way, and Saturn is definitely a planet that wants you to change some aspect of your life that may not be working for you, or it may
they don't care about time.
Right, they don't care about time, or
Saturn
how long it's going to take, or how you feel, or anything like that. It's like
they actually love slowing it down.
Right, it's
Saturn
like this needs to happen, and I need you to understand that it's not about having it right now, or it's not about having it when you want it. It's about the timing being right.
It's about the completion of the course, because Saturn rules like, I mean,
Right.
Sagittarius is about higher learning and educate and like, you know, more development. But Capricorn is really about making it to the top of the mountain, completing a task, the world,
and what did
graduating,
you learn?
getting married, having children, building a family, like karmic thing. Saturn rules karma, and Capricorn also rules the body and work. So it's like this is all tied into that.
So let's go ahead and move on.
Your anxieties are the fact that you're being tested right now, and you're being tested in this union. The strength is in the union. There could be a Leo that brings anxiety for you somehow, because I do see, like for some of you, like there could be a Leo somehow in your family even, because the Emperor card being here.
Yeah, it's like you're having issues because your pride is being challenged in a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
It's like it's making you uncomfortable because you are being tested.
Or something that you're trying to build, the Leo has some type of influence within that thing. There's a Leo and there's a Taurus around you.
Also, right, there's all that fixed squaring energy that's been going on lately, you know, with these last planetary aspects.
These are very fixed energies as well, yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's, with the Strength card being in your, what is it, the anxieties, it's saying that you might be... You're being tested, but and it's not like you're being a coward about it, but it's like you're almost kind of like dragging your feet in terms of like seeing it through or letting it happen or letting this take place, because, you know, it's a pride issue. And also it has to do with what you know in your heart is true, and you're having anxieties with that. What you know in your heart is true.
I mean, this card is a very positive card. So it's surprising to have it in your anxieties, you know, because the Strength card is really talking about overcoming your anxieties in the first place.
This might have to do with a man.
Card. Yeah, this could very much have to do with a man, a male, or a child. Like, yeah, because Aries is really talking about that quintessential masculine energy, and Aries is also the child. So it could be anxieties over a child, anxieties over your man, anxieties over your man and a child, anxieties over your granddad, anxieties over your father, your boss, any kind of like masculine energy, or a Leo in your life that is masculine that holds a lot of fortune for you somehow.
There could be a female involved as well, in terms of like there might be like a three-way party situation where someone else might be affecting like the identity of a relationship, but that's like very underneath the surface. It's not something that's very apparent here.
Yeah, for some of you there was a Sagittarius in the past that really held a lot of significance. You may have dated a Sagittarius and somehow you were damaged by that relationship, or it changed you somehow, or you could have taken a trip, or you could have just really felt like you were being withered in a lot of ways. Very accurate, guys.
Good dad,
yeah. I feel you. I know.
It's the reality.
We get your messages, you guys, so you can type us. We can read them even if you can't see us. Yeah, so let's keep moving on in the reading, because this is a very transformative period of time for all of us, but especially for you. Mars is a Mars card. So your Mars is Mars in Capricorn, which is 3 of coins in this tarot. And
this is a strong position for this card to be in, so it's very significant.
It's very loud, because one, Mars is your old ruler, Pluto is your new ruler, but Mars is your classical ruler, so you know this energy very well. 2, this is the Mars section of the readings. Sagittarius is my twin flame also, and then this is the Mars section, and this is a Mars card, Mars and Capricorn. So this is really saying you very, very, very much want to put the work into a situation. You want to see the results and the proof and the recognition for this situation through. Like, really what's going on in the picture is a man. And in this particular tarot, it's in correlation, of course, with the Empress, because all the 3s are, and the Empress is the 3rd card. And there's a little girl here, and he's painting on top of the stairs. He's painting the little girl's room, and she's trying to reach up to help him paint too. And he's painting it like a beautiful sky blue.
It's interesting, because it's almost like you're allowing other people to effectively help you get the work done. Whatever that work is, or whatever the intended purpose is in getting the work done, it's supported. You know what I mean? Or whatever the focus is and what you want to try to like change, or whatever you see that's taking shape that holds promise, it's like you want to put more aggression into that. You want to initiate, levels of consideration towards this thing, because there's so many Aries cards here. I mean, the Guide of Wands being cardinal fire energy, that's also Aries. Moon, honey.
Yeah, there's been a lot of emotional struggle. The advice here is for you to go with the Five of Wands, which here we go again, Leo energy. You got the King of Wands, or the Sage of Wands in this particular tarot, Gay Tarot, is really talking about the King of Wands energy. The Queen of Wands energy is also here. Aries is here. Temperance is here. Leo, the Strength card is here. Five of Wands is the advice here. So there's a lot of really spirited energy. I'm getting a lot of sexual energy. You know, Scorpio desires.
That makes sense.
Scorpio, you have been having the sex, or wanting to have the sex, or you really are just going through. If you're not having this hot and heavy sexual kind of thing, then you're definitely feeling tempered right now in your emotions. Like you're feeling like you wish you were having it. Maybe you were having it and you're missing it, and now you're feeling like, God, why did you take away the good sex? You know, like for some of you, like you're feeling very like, you know, tempered in that way. Also, the advice here is sex is currently awesome with a Leo. See, somebody said, right? I'm seeing a lot of Leo energy here.
I feel like there might be a struggle in terms of like...
There's a competition with that Leo.
Yeah, there's something going on with it. It's like, if you guys aren't dating seriously, then you might be feeling competitive just at the fact that you're not exclusive, you know what I mean? Because that sort of like fosters this competitive energy. It sort of like houses room for that.
And it's weird because it's in the advice section. You have Five of Wands, which is a hockey game. It's called the hockey game. So you can imagine how like rough and tumble everything is going on. They're trying to get the hockey puck. They're trying to hit it.
You're learning to slide through. You're learning how to strategize something. There's some sort of strategic effort here that you're learning from that might be making you feel like it's challenging, or it might, you know, you might want to give up on something because it is too actively like restricting you. You know, it's making you feel like you can't move, or you're like what am I doing this for? What am I doing this for?
Lord of Strife.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the strife of it. There's a lot of activity. I know this card because it is the natal. It is natal for me as far as the Deacons. It's the week that I was born. So this is Saturn and Leo. So there's a lot of activity around, or very competitive energy.
All of this.
And you have to realize, and it has to do with your heart and your dreams too. The child, if there's a child, the lover, if there's a lover, the career, if there's a career, whatever that desire is,
what's the point?
There's competition around it somehow, and there's a lot of activity around it, and you have to... You know, there really has to be a balance here. You have to understand why you're doing it, and realize that it's also part of the healthy parts of life, because you might be feeling like you're competing with other people or other establishments. But maybe there are things here, it's all part of the game of life to get you motivated, so that you are a fixed sign. So it's hard for you to change your emotions. So sometimes this transformative energy is coming from this kind of competitive energy of survival and like, you know, learning these lessons. You're really learning lessons in Leo as well. So there might be things that you want from a Leo that you can't get, or vice versa, things that you wish could be more or something, or there's boundaries around a Leo somehow. And there are lessons in that for you.
You might be trying to figure something out, and you know, it just might be a matter of time until you do it. But if it's like a situation that you feel like is holding you back, then maybe you should step out of that.
Yeah, because Leo talks about the heart. Leo talks about children. Leo talks about dreams. Leo talks about your sensual pleasures, your short love affairs, and your awareness, because it's ruled by the sun. So it's really talking about yourself and your awareness. And the advice is like, go with those things, but also realize you're only halfway. You know, 5 is talking about being in the middle of something.
Your last card is the Four of Wands. So this is kind of like a light at the end of the tunnel, because we done went through all this whole reading.
That is a good card at the end. Right. It's like, realize that this is the dress rehearsal of life. Right. You know what I mean?
Things are going to come together. It's just like, you know, it's like what we were saying with this temperance card being here. It's like the process of getting there. Mm-hmm. It's if everything was sort of like handed to you very easily, then you wouldn't have a sense of how to appreciate it. Mm-hmm. So this is saying that, you know, getting back to foundations, getting back to basics, really, you know.
Yeah, here with the Four of Wands being there, it's talking about also there may be a ceremony for some of you. You know, once again, Four of Wands is talking about a child. So your attention could also be going back to a child. That brings a lot of joy here for you. Or to establishing some type of beauty in something that you've already constructed in yourself, especially if it's a business, right? Or it's a literal ceremony. There could be a wedding or something.
Coming together, right, to create more harmony or more balance. It's like the yin and the yang coming together. You feeling more satisfied because of that. Like you were able to see your way through all of the struggle and all of the inconsistency and all of the, you know, the strife and the misunderstandings and the inability to see your way out of a situation that, you know, didn't give you a sense of promise. Right? Once you make it towards the end of that, then it's all going to make sense to you. And you're going to realize that everything that you went through, right, it's a stepping stone. So even if you lost some things into getting to this Four of Wands, just know those things were meant for you to sort of like give up. It is a new moon in Scorpio.
Right, because it's establishing something within yourself. It's like a plateau within your spirit. You're like, I went through all of that in order to get to this feeling. And it's not a feeling of completion. It's a feeling of... it's like a feeling of security within yourself.
Even if you have less than you had before. Whatever that means for you. Because it's like, you're like, oh, this feels good, but why does it feel good if I don't have all of those other things?
Right. Because you're going to have more time and focus for you. It's like you're cutting away the fat almost in a sense here too. Yeah, because with the moon being there, it's like you're going through an emotional struggle, and you have been for quite some time, and you've been doubting the fact that it's going to work out okay. And in the end, you're going to have less responsibility with certain things, but you're going to free up more so that you can have an actual construction, because Venus is in her detriment here in Aries. And she's not welcome necessarily.
It's funny because this is Venus in Aries, and then you got a card here with the masculine and feminine, which was literally like the overall energy, which is talking about
making it work
and loyalty and making things work and understanding that there's going to be fluctuations and changes, and you know, you might be disappointed sometimes.
Wands. King of Wands, Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Temperance, Sagittarius.
It's like it's knowing what to do at the right time.
And what you love, right? Because Venus is talking about love and logic here. So you're really going to have to look at that. Okay.
All right, we've got to go, y'all.
All right, guys. So, you know, rounding it out with you.
Sorry about the video.
Sorry about this, like, being frozen or whatever, but these was really some good messages. Our faces look weird on here.
What's going on?
But, you know, we're going to go back and we're going to listen to it too. So go ahead and go with this emotional change that's happening inside of you mentally.
Yeah, it's not going anymore. It's fine. Let's just end it here. And if we have to record, we might have to record. We'll just see like how it turned out. It was very weird though. It's just frozen now. That one little thing, honey, look. Leave it and then go back. Watch, it's going to be on now.